everyone, Kelly here, and I'm continuing my series of videos about series. If you want to see the first one, I will link it down below where I talk about all the series that I need to finish. This video is about series that I need to start because I own the first book in the series and I'm really interested in them. So like I said, I'm only sticking to series that I own one or more of the books. So I'm sure there are plenty of other series that I'm interested in, but if I haven't picked it up yet, then it's not like top priority. I also splitting this into two videos because I wanted to make sure that I stuck to only 10 books in each of these videos. And so I'm going to do now the adult and YA series that I want to start, and then I will do another video of the middle grade series because it turns out I have a ton of middle grade series that I want to start. So let's get on with the YA and adult ones. So the first one is The Chaos Walking Trilogy by Patrick Ness. The first one I own is The Knife of Never Letting Go, and this is, I believe you would call it dystopian, and it's about a town that has only men in it and all the men can hear each other's thoughts all the time, and then one day this boy runs into a girl and he can't hear what she's thinking. I've really enjoyed the other books I've read by Patrick Ness, and I want to read this before the movie comes out because I would like to see the movie. Though I'm not really sure if I have to read the whole trilogy before I see the movie, so I might be waiting till it comes out on DVD to make sure I can finish the whole trilogy, because sometimes movies like spoil something from the second book. The next one is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson, which is the first book in the Remnant Chronicles, and this is a trilogy, but then I think she also has a companion series that takes place in this world. But the trilogy is finished, and I really want to get to this one soon because I have some people I buddy read with that are all like reading this, and I'm feeling left out because they're just enjoying it so much. And from what I know about this is about a princess who is kind of being forced to marry somebody she doesn't want to, so she runs away and she meets two guys, and one is the person she was supposed to marry and one is out to kill her or something like that. And we don't know which one is which. And I've heard after this first book it gets very political and wars and stuff like that, so I am excited to pick this one up soon. Next I have the one that's probably been on my TBR for the longest, and that's The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. And there are 3 books in this series, but they are all huge, and it's historical fiction, I believe about building a cathedral or something like that, yeah. And I've heard that these are just like amazing epic books, but it's just hard to like pick up a 1,000-page book knowing there's gonna be 2 more 1,000-page books after it. So I might need a lot of like prodding to pick this one up. I've owned it probably for, I don't know, 10 years, a long time. Like I said, it's probably one of the oldest books that I have like on my physical TBR. The next book is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. This is the first book in a trilogy. I believe it's called The Extraordinary something. I actually don't know the name of the series. It's really long. It's like 5 words long, just like the titles are really long. So forgive me, I don't remember the title of the series. A friend of mine, Taryn, had read these and she loved them. So I thought I would pick up the first one and give them a try. From what I understand from the synopsis, it sounds like this is following a lot of like daughters of famous people from classics. So this is like, this book involves Mary Jekyll, who is the daughter of Dr. Jekyll, and she meets other characters like the daughter of Frankenstein and Moreau and all these like kind of famous things from classics. And part of the reason I haven't picked this up yet is I want to read Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde first before starting this series. I know what the story is about, but I've never actually read the classic. And I just think before I read something that's like based off of that story that I should read the original story. So that's why I haven't picked that one up yet. Next I have Wool by Hugh Howey, and this one is kind of confusing to me because this is an omnibus, so this one actually has like 5 books in it. So they were starting out as kind of like they were published separately. I don't remember if they were like just put on the web or if they were each published as books, but then this one is the collection of all 5 in the Wool series, but then there's also a bigger series. So there's Wool and then Shift and Dust, or I don't know which one comes first. So that's part of why I haven't picked this up, because it just is confusing to me, like that this is like multiple series within series, stuff like that. I don't know. But this is a dystopian or post-apocalyptic kind of book about a group of people that live underground because something happened to destroy the top side of the earth, and then like maybe they're going to try and see what is outside of their bunker. Next, I have the Wayward Pines series by Blake Crouch. The first one is Pines. Part of the reason I haven't picked this one up is because it's really hard to find the second and third in the series. I haven't been able to find them to purchase cheaply, or they weren't at my library. So I'm kind of like afraid to start this one because it's really short and then not have the next two books to read. So that's the only reason I haven't picked this up. And this is a sci-fi book about a Secret Service agent that goes to this small town to hunt down two federal agents that are missing, and I guess just crazy things happen. And I do think this will be really interesting. I know there was a TV show made off of it, but like I said, I can't find the second and third books with a decent price. So I just maybe either need to read that one, know if I want to spend the money on full price for the next two or something. I don't know. Next, I have Renegades by Marissa Meyer. This, at least at this point, it's a trilogy. Like the third book is coming out next month, but I don't know if it's going to just be a trilogy. Like maybe it's going to be 4. I don't know. Because I don't really know a lot about it. I just know I really enjoy the Lunar Chronicles, so I do want to get to this. It just hadn't been a top priority because the third book hadn't been out yet. I didn't see any reason to like jump right into it. I don't know much about it except for it kind of feels like it has more of a superhero vibe and sci-fi and all that. So these are pretty big. But her writing goes by fast, so I think I should be able to pick that up soon now that the third book is almost out. And then I have Blood Red Road by Moira Young, which is the first one in the Dustlands trilogy. And I haven't heard much about this, but I heard Books and Lala talking about this, and she only read the first book but really loved it. And so that's what put it on my radar. When I looked it up, it was like post-apocalyptic kind of story or dystopian, and I really enjoy that genre. And so I figured I would give it a try. I think it's about a girl who is really close to her brother, and her brother is captured, so she has to wander off into the desert and try to rescue him. Next, I have the Skinjacker trilogy by Neil Shusterman, and I own the first 2 books. I bought this one at a library sale, and so I have 2 of the books. I should pick this up, but I just haven't yet. I believe this is a YA book about 2 kids who don't quite die. They're kind of like stuck in between life and death, and they're kind of like journey in the like purgatory of some sort. I don't really know much about it. I just have liked other things by Neil Shusterman, so I wanted to try another one of his series while I was waiting for Scythe to finish out. And then the last series is the only contemporary series on this list, I think, and that is The President's Daughter Quartet. The first book is called The President's Daughter, but then that's also the name of the series, and that's basically what this is about. It's about a girl whose mother is running for president, and in the first book, she becomes president, and we follow her of what it's like to be the child of a president, and I guess it gets more dramatic as it goes on, and she goes to college and all that stuff. I heard about this series from Alex Black. She really loves it, and it just sounded interesting. I thought I would give it a try, and I found these books for really cheap on Thrift Books because you can't always get them from the library because I think some of them are out of print maybe. So yeah, I ended up picking them up on Thrift Books. And that's all the adult and YA series that I would like to start at some point because I have like so many and I don't know like what I'm in the mood for. If there is one of these series that you really love and you think I should bump up the list, let me know. I always like to hear like what other people are really enjoying. And I'll see you next time when I talk about the middle grade series that I need to start. Bye.